And we're live for another episode of Bodybuilding in Business.
I really don't think I'm ever going to get over that.
Bodybuilding in Business. The clap or me saying like a weird intro like that?
All of the above.
The and we're live part?
Yeah.
What do you want me to say?
There's got to be a better way to enter it.
Action.
We should have Michelle stand back there with one of those things.
That would be really cool. Or actually in the shot and
We talked about this.
And then she walks out.
She's camera shy, dude. Remember? Unless we eat pizza.
Unless we have a pizza
Michelle
podcast.
said if we do a traveling pizza podcast, because Dave Portnoy is not doing that at all. I guess this isn't really a podcast. Nope. So he's not doing that. Nope. But Michelle said if we do that, she will jump in. So let us know if you want to see that.
If you guys want to see a travel,
I would love to see it.
A traveling pizza podcast. Michelle's in, so we know we have one viewer or somebody on the podcast with us. Yeah, let us know if that's something you guys would be into. We would be into it.
These guys know nothing about bodybuilding and business. Let's hear pizza.
We know they know a lot about pizza.
Yeah, it tastes great.
That's it. That's all we know.
That's all you need to know.
Some of it's not as good as
others.
others.
We talked about it earlier. We're really. How'd you say it? We're just. You didn't say simpletons, but
men are simple.
Okay.
Simple.
I wasn't going to let everyone know that we were saying that women are difficult, but
us as men, you and I.
Okay. We are simple men.
Simple.
Yes. Very simple.
Some za, a little bit of pie, change the game.
A little bit of bourbon.
For some of us.
Yes. For 50% of us.
For 50% of us. The other 50% really enjoys an orange monster when they're having
that is true.
Some pie. And you know what? It's all you need sometimes in life.
I'm not totally ignoring you. I'm listening to what you're saying.
I'm
just rudely pulling out my phone, but I wanted to pull up the questions.
Yeah, get up those questions.
We ramble about being simple for too long.
Yeah, we're going to continue the trend we started last week by answering 3 questions to start the podcast.
I kind of like it.
We continued with the not unanimous, anonymous questions. And I think we got some good ones, right?
Yeah. We got a great mix.
We got some bad ones.
We got some weird ones, guys.
Listen, guys,
and
just
I'm
because
all for weird, but when I say weird, like, I love you all and I appreciate your questions. But if you ask me how my day is going, we're doing this for the podcast. So we can't really have an episode about how my day is going. Because I'm either going to say great.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to say it actually sucked. I was really tired and I had a headache. But
some of you guys take the anonymous thing too far.
Yeah.
Like you think it's just free reign to do whatever you want. Some of them aren't even questions.
No.
Sometimes you guys just make comments because it's anonymous.
You want to know a funny one that came up about you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, sure. Go ahead.
All right. I'll read it then. I got to pull this one up because I screenshot the other ones for easier access.
Read it off, dude.
All right.
Tell the people what people talk about in the anonymous questions about me. I bet I can guess what it's about.
It was one of the early ones from yesterday.
I bet I can guess what it's about.
You might be able to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's got to be like right over here. I'm sorry, guys.
It's all right. They love radio silence. When was the last time you actually listened to the radio? As I'm yawning into the microphone. Like actual radio.
Truthfully, often when I get into Michelle's car.
Michelle doesn't use a wireless device? Or just because you're in the car and you're not connected?
Well, because a lot of the times that I have to tell the kids that our phones aren't working. Because
it's a lie.
It depends. If we're going on a quick drive.
You're one of those parents.
Yeah. If we're going on a quick drive, I'll let them listen to their Frozen or whatever. But if we're driving 45 minutes an hour, which is pretty much any time we're going anywhere than around town, I can't do it, dude. I can't do the screaming and singing, and I can't do it. So
the snowman building and all the stuff that goes on with Frozen.
So Michelle just usually plays like her oldies, which is like 90s, like hip hop stations, like 90s hip hop and R&B. So we listen to that, you know.
I probably haven't listened to the actual radio in
my car, never.
In years.
Never.
Years.
I don't even listen to music in my car anymore.
Maybe like when I got a rental car and it was on and then I immediately turned it off.
Okay, but actually listen.
Actually, my own choice, years.
Yeah.
Years.
For a while, I was doing Sirius, right?
Sirius XM radio?
Yeah.
Those guys really know how to haggle.
But probably for the last at least year, if not 2, I get in my car and it's either dead silence or a podcast.
Hot topic before we start these questions. Big fan of a dead silent car some morning rides. Don't know why.
Yeah. So sometimes in the morning, I really like it because I'm
Yeah.
just in my thoughts preparing for the day. But other times when I'm really tired, I need something on. Just like by the time I get to work, I know like I'm alert and ready to go.
No, I get it. It's crazy though how sometimes it can go so it can swing both ways.
For sure. And you know me, I'm a big music guy, right? Like love music.
I am
but
not.
because I hear it at the gym all day, when I get in my car, like I just want to catch up on other shit.
Yeah, sometimes I don't need bass, just
I'm all about that bass.
no treble.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. So first question, we're going to do 4 because this one's more of not one that I really want to answer, but
Okay.
we're going
This
to
is-
ask.
This is the one about me.
This is the one about you.
Go ahead.
I'd really like to know why Pat doesn't want to be huge. Get on that trend, Pat. By the way, this part's not about you. I own 3 businesses and fuck bitches. Anyways, get huge. Big gulps, huh?
Big gulps,
Well,
huh?
see you later.
Man, that's such a deep question, huh?
Yeah, man. I thought it was pretty funny though.
Why don't I want to be huge?
It made me lie. It made me laugh.
It made you lie?
I was gonna say I'm not gonna lie. It made me laugh.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I'm not huge or I don't want to be huge. Maybe one day it'll hit me and I will want to be
It's
huge.
not just big, it's huge.
If you posted the video that we took of you today, you looked pretty big, man.
Illusions.
lie.
Bodybuilding.
Illusions.
Illusions.
There you go.
So as long as the people think I'm big, that's all that matters.
Anyways, I thought that one was pretty funny. But all right.
Thanks, PJ.
First real question. Opinions on macros versus consistent meals.
Oh,
We already answered this in
we've
one of our
answered this
episodes.
before. But this is such a hot topic that I feel like it's okay.
We'll answer it again.
It's okay to answer it again.
Let's be a little bit more vague on it though,
So-
just so we could actually
not spend all
dig
day
in on the
it.
other stuff. But
And
since
ask
we've
it-
already answered this,
Yeah, ask it one more time for me, just so I understand the wording.
opinions on macros versus consistent meals. I think we both have the same view on this, so I'll let you just go ahead.
Oh, okay. I
Or I will.
prefer. They called it consistent meals, is what they said.
Yes, you know. What
I
they mean by that,
prefer
though.
consistent meals.
I think they mean by
Mac-
consistent meals for those who are listening. I believe what
A
they're
meal
trying to
plan.
say is a macro-based diet or a set meal plan where every day all variables are the same.
Right. And I prefer, as a coach and a bodybuilder, to have consistent meal plan. Not only as a coach, because it helps me, I don't want to use the word diagnose, but I'm going to use the word diagnose, where and why things might be going wrong or where or why things are working. Macro has too many variables and things that'll make it difficult to diagnose what may or may not be working. I think that there are a select few people who can have a successful run with macro-based diets. I don't think for the majority of people that is the most efficient way of dieting.
I think that, well, first and foremost, I definitely agree. But I think that even for those that it does work for, it's going to be a temporary fix, right? Eventually, you're going to hit some sort of roadblock, right? They're going to try and play with things more and more that they're getting away with things.
Right.
And eventually you're going to have to start troubleshooting. And if you're someone who's just basically following a macro-based diet, unless you're working under a coach, you probably don't know how to troubleshoot or where to begin.
Let's put a caveat in here. If we're talking about bodybuilders, correct. I think you'll hit a plateau. I think if you're talking about lifestyle clients, like I've had my mom do a macro-based diet before and it works for her. She can stick with her macros for the rest of her life and she'll be happy with where she's at. That's totally different than a bodybuilder who's consistently trying to progress and
yes.
become better. I think eventually you will hit a plateau with a macro-based diet. So I think it is important to have a consistent meal plan. So again,
Correct. But I think even in that case, like, obviously I don't know your mom's life and workout and nutrition history, right? But while on topic, I'll go into it a little bit further, and so we'd be vague about this one. For your mom, yes, she may be happy with it, right? But if we're talking continuous progression, right? Like not just, okay, she got where she wants to be healthy, whatever, right? Eventually, you're going to have to be a little bit more strict. If someone wants continued progress.
I agree. However, she's just not
Because I've had people lose over 100 pounds on a macro-based diet, right? And eventually,
right. I think the difference though between bodybuilding and lifestyle is the word progress and what it's defined by.
Yes.
So I think my mom would be happy doing it for an extended period of time where she might still have to change macros or make things harder or do more cardio in order to continue seeing the results she wants.
Correct.
However, progress in
That's
bodybuilding and
my
progress in
point. There's
lifestyle
gonna have
aren't
to be
linear.
change somewhere.
Right.
And eventually,
Right.
okay.
Which is why
and-
I think it's easier to just do the consistent meal plan.
Yes, especially from a coaching perspective, right? For us, like you said, to troubleshoot, we go off of data, right?
Yep.
So if something goes wrong, the only way for us to diagnose it really is from controlled variables. Otherwise, if every day or every other day some sort of food source changes, even though your macros may be the same,
Right.
okay, the way your body is responding to a certain food may be completely different. Right. So that's why, from a coaching perspective, I always, even with majority, 9 out of 10 of my lifestyle clients, I go with a straightforward diet that's not, you know what I mean? It's written exact. You follow it. If we get sick of certain things, I will make the changes. Again, see how your body responds. May have to change something again. But from there, stick with it while it's working.
I agree.
Deal. All right. So
That's round 2 of answering that. I'm sure in a couple weeks we'll get that same question again.
Yes.
But for right now, answered.
bingo. All right. Where do you want to be in 5 years?
As regards to bodybuilding and business, hopefully in a studio.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they're asking us personally, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Or bodybuilding and business as a whole, where do you see yourself? But yeah,
Yeah, it could
in
be.
5 years, if we're still doing this thing, man.
Dude, I love your house, but like I hope we're in a studio in 5 years.
Yeah, but okay.
Maybe the studio's here.
Sure.
In addition,
It might take place of my walk in humidor, though. I'll be a little upset.
what if we built an underground tunnel? I feel like we're unincorporated right here. There's nothing under us.
You want to do it?
Dude, for sure.
We might find water.
Yeah, but we got builders for stuff like that. They know how to control that stuff, not us. That's not our problem.
All right. Well, we might be in a studio, guys.
I would think within 5 years of bodybuilding and business, we would be in a studio somewhere.
Okay. So to take that deeper, then, in order for us to be in a studio,
Yeah.
it's going to be more time probably away from the gym and away from home. So our businesses would obviously be in a different place.
Yeah.
So I guess where I would like to be in 5 years would
yeah.
allow that to be very easy for us. We could record almost fucking daily, right? In 5 years,
cool.
I see myself owning a gym, right?
You own it?
Owning the gym,
Oh,
okay?
Yep.
Doing fully online coaching, maybe drop-in sessions on certain days that are, pre-reserved slots, things like that, for my competitive clients or my lifers that have been there with me for 10 plus years, but not training in person on a set schedule all the time, more so once or twice a week drop-ins. Other days, I'm pretty much working from home essentially, other than dropping into the gym, making sure that things are good, and running my business solely from my phone, unless I'm going in for posing sessions or things like that. And that would give us time to be at a studio multiple hours, do all the editing all in one shot and record like that. So that'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. I hope that we don't have to do the editing in 5 years.
That's true.
I hope
But
that we
in 5 years, if we have that much free time, we might.
maybe we enjoy it at that point.
That's what I'm saying.
We are so frustrated with it because we're so bad at it right now, but maybe by then we'll be so good at it that we will enjoy it and we want to do it.
In 5 years, I would like to have nothing but free time so I can learn how to be good with technology.
I don't think I
How
want
about that?
small thing. This could be a 5 or 10 year where you want to be. I don't think I ever really want to be good at technology.
I mean,
I'm too stubborn.
when I mean
for it.
good at technology, I mean,
Going back to us being simple men, I
but-
want pizza to make me happy, and that's it. There's no technology involved.
I'm not saying technology will make me happy.
No,
but
I know.
I would like to be able to do the things that I need done without having to ask or bother anybody for assistance. I'm not saying I want to go learn how to code and build programs and shit like that. But hey, Pat, like we just recorded that. We didn't like it. Let's just change this out. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, done. Posted.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Something that might take us 3 hours probably takes someone who knows how to do it well
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true, I guess.
I'm not saying I want to open up a studio and start recording for other people and,
Yeah.
but make art. Think about it. We can go do a workout video, literally go edit it, whatever, 5-10 minutes, put a clip onto it that we
Yeah.
want and boom, done.
Do some
We can't post a fucking TikTok or an Instagram reel, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to do a voiceover on a workout video if I tried.
No.
I hear other people talking about copyrights and having to voice over their videos because of the music in the gym. I couldn't tell you what any of that means or how they do it, but I know that they do
I
it.
don't know what copyright means.
Yeah, who's copywriting? I guess I really didn't answer my question besides being in the studio.
So other than the podcast being done in a professional studio in 5 years, where do you see yourself? What do you want to do? Whether it's business related, family related, what do you want out of life, dude?
Dude, 5 years is a long time.
It's really not.
It's a long time that's not a long time.
Alessia was born 5 years
I'm
ago,
aware, dude.
and I feel like it was fucking yesterday.
But it is a long time. Much has happened in that amount of time.
I tore a pec.
You think not a lot has happened? You built a house and had 2 other children in those 5 years,
And I tore a pec.
and you tore a pec.
But
That's a lot in 5 years.
in theory, think about how, yes, it's a lot of time, but it comes up way faster than you'd think.
I don't doubt, yes, that it'll happen quickly. I just mean it is a lot of time, though. Obviously, I want to be.
Think about it. I feel like you just met Rosie and you've been together 3 years.
It's true. Within 5 years, married, at least 1, if not 2 kids on the way.
You better hope you're married within 5 years.
Yeah, that's a given. The kids one, that's a 2 within 5 years.
That's doable.
No, I understand. I know the math. There, I could have 5
9
and
months
5.
for one to brew.
I could really push the limits here, and but I'm thinking, yeah, realistically,
Okay.
1 if not a second
Beautiful.
started, and then business just growing, dude.
All right, man.
Let it grow.
And physically.
Yeah, and
Grow.
physically, I
If
would
you
like
didn't
to
hear
grow.
The question 1.
Yeah.
You know,
Pat's really small and he still needs to grow. So hopefully within 5 years, I'll finally figure out how to grow.
hopefully, dude.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Last question.
And I'm going to go pro in 5 years. Within 5 years.
What is something you'd wish you'd see less of at the gym and something you'd like to see more of at the gym? I like this one.
Less of at the gym and more of at the gym.
Yep.
Should we both tackle each one or both start with one and then move on to the other? Let's answer less of first.
I think my less of in the gym kind of falls right into what I want to see more of. I mean, it's kind of after I answer my less of, it's going to pretty much be self-explanatory what I want to see.
Okay, so let's set the parameters before we answer this. I'm going to assume we're talking about the warehouse gym of Carroll Stream, Illinois.
Sure. I was thinking just in general what I see at other gyms on Instagram. But yeah, we can go specifically at my gym. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just so hard because even though we might see clips online, we're not at those gyms,
Okay.
right?
Sure.
Okay.
But I know what I see.
I know what I see too. I see a lot of nonsense that I'm not happy
Exactly.
with. But that doesn't mean that there's not good things happening at
That
those
doesn't
gyms
mean
too.
that that's
So-
everybody. But that's why
Right.
we're not talking about a specific gym. We're talking about
All right.
what is happening.
Let's start with
at a
what
lot
we
of
want to
those
see
gyms.
less of first.
What I want to see less of
Mm-hmm.
is people not knowing what the fuck they're doing.
Well,
No, that's exactly what I mean.
no. Because
How
I
you
like
gonna tell me?
No.
How you gonna tell me no? That's what I want
and
to
then not
see.
elaborate. No. Don't even say anything.
Do you want me to elaborate what I mean by that though?
No. I'm just going to throw this out there before you continue to elaborate.
Okay, sure.
I do enjoy seeing someone who is learning and not
That's
knowing what they're
different,
doing. That's why I'm just saying. I enjoy seeing somebody coming into the gym, getting excited about it, not knowing what they're doing, and wanting to learn.
Okay.
That I like. Go.
So what I mean by that though,
Yes.
is not the person who just got their first gym membership trying to,
Right.
trying to learn, trying to become more active, right? I'm talking about the people who say this is their life. They love the gym, whether it's from an athletic standpoint, a bodybuilding standpoint, a health standpoint, whatever it is, right?
Right.
That literally eat and breathe the gym supposedly. They're in there 5, 6, 7 days a week, and they still are constantly doing shit incorrectly. It's like, if you love this much, why are you not educating yourself?
That's
Because
fair.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Okay, if you're your average 40-year-old American who's never had a gym membership and you're 50 pounds overweight, yes, I would love to see you just enter a gym for the first time and start moving.
Get after it.
Start moving.
Yeah.
You're already doing more than what you were.
Right.
But for the person who's already consistently going and still just air after air after air after air,
Spinning their
guess
wheels,
what?
as some would say.
There's a saying we both don't like. And I don't know where it comes from, but somebody wrote it on the wall, right? And it's, I think someone, I want to say maybe even Kai Green or somebody said it, right?
There's a bunch of Kai Green quotes on our wall. On your wall.
All you need to do is show up or whatever.
They're not my walls. Yeah, I hate that quote.
That is absolutely incorrect.
You're asking for the bare minimum. All you have to do
When
is show
the
up.
fuck was the bare minimum ever been acceptable? It's not.
It's not. It's really not. I agree. I think it really is.
And again, not to cut you off, we are not talking about, or I'm not talking about at least, the person who's never entered a gym before.
Correct.
The bare minimum to the avid gym goer, okay,
Right.
is a lot for them.
Right.
So I'm not talking about them. If you're just getting your ship moving, good for you, right? Eventually, I hope as you're progressing and continuously going and creating a habit, I hope that you're bettering yourself and you're starting to learn proper form and technique, whether it's asking somebody, hiring a professional, fucking researching online, watching YouTube videos. I don't care. Even though there's bad information out there, there's still way more than enough easily accessible videos of form, technique.
And I think that's why when you first read this question, I think that's why I initially was like, wait, what gym are we talking about? Because if we're using the warehouse as the example, which is Greg's gym, by the way, a gym that I run my business out of. If you didn't know that, I'm not Greg's partner or assistant. I'm going to keep reiterating
He's
that.
not. And unfortunately, he's not even input 2 anymore.
I'm input
I'm starting
one.
to lose my ground.
I'm input 1. It's my gym now. No. So that's why I wanted to say, are we talking about that gym? Because 90% of the people that walk through the door that aren't our one-on-one personal training clients are bodybuilders who take this very seriously. So for somebody who's a bodybuilder who takes training seriously, to have the mentality of as long as you show up, you're doing it, you're so wrong. You're so far from being wrong. Or
You're so far from being right.
Yes.
Meaning you're very wrong.
You're so wrong, and you are so far from being right, because just showing up is not enough. For our in-person clients, showing up is enough, and then we do the work to help them get what they need to achieve.
Yes. They hired a professional because they know that when they go to the gym on their own, if they do, they only just show up. That's why they have a professional. So no matter how they're feeling that day, we make sure that they're doing more than the bare minimum to assure constant progression in their program. You having trouble over there, dude?
It took me like 6 turns to try and get that thing
man.
on, and I dropped it at one point.
Usually you're pretty athletic.
I am athletic. That is a fact. Yeah, so I think for the warehouse and for the members of the warehouse who take lifting seriously, probably compete in bodybuilding, and even if they don't compete in bodybuilding, they are about the lifestyle of health and fitness and working out. For those of you who are about that life, showing up is not enough, which would lead, I guess I never answered what I want to see less of, but I'll just agree with you, because that's kind of what I want to see less of as well. I could go into like little nitpicky things and be like people who don't wipe down their equipment and like little, like dumb little stuff like that. Like that's just common courtesy.
Exactly.
You should be a good person.
Yeah.
Be a good person. And that's a whole, we won't have a podcast about that because we're a bodybuilding business, not how to be a human being.
Yeah. I don't want to have a Karen episode.
Would that be a Karen episode? Do Karens do that?
I mean, if we get real
Karens
nitpicky
complain.
about
Sorry.
that shit, yeah.
Karens complain. So we could be complaining about
I'm not
people
going to
being good
complain. I'm
people.
just going to call you out as I see it. You know?
Be a good human.
But as far as the culture,
Yes. As far as not those little nitpicky things, people spinning their wheels, people just showing up just to show up, which would lead me to saying then my thing I'd want to see more of in the gym are people who train how you're supposed to train.
train, not work out, not go through the motions.
Train.
People that fucking train.
Not personal train.
No.
No. There's a difference there.
Actually, I do want to see more of those. So if you're looking to run your own business, please DM me at GVL_fitness on Instagram.
Nice plug. Good job, dude.
You like that?
Not personal train. People who actually train. People who are in the gym to progress.
And there's a difference for those of you who are like, why do they keep saying train? Why they're emphasizing the word train?
Why are they looking at each other's eyes and saying train that way? That's so weird.
There's a difference between doing an exercise and just wailing through some reps, or actually going and feeling the contraction in the targeted muscle. And I mean, we could really are we going to get into this?
We can. Because there's a difference between going in the gym and breaking a sweat for an hour and thinking like, yep, I accomplished it, when you just increased your body temperature and didn't actually do what you were trying to do.
If you say that you're a bodybuilder and for the last 3 years you've looked the same, guess what?
You're
not building your body.
That's true. They are not bodybuilding.
They're not.
No.
They're showing up.
And
They like to say they go to a bodybuilder's gym.
Mm-hmm.
They like to say that they get all the new pre-workouts and fucking their new Gymshark and Alpha League clothing, right?
Before we get hate, which we won't get for this, but before we potentially get hate for this by not having,
We probably will, but it's okay.
by not having a single solution to this, there are multiple ways to train. There are.
I agree. Don't look at me like that.
I'm just saying there are multiple ways to train. We're not saying that if you don't train the exact workouts that Greg and Pat write, then you don't know how to train. Not saying that.
Not saying that at all.
You could
Training
be,
is more, I'm saying from a mental standpoint.
right. You could be an athlete who's trying to be better for their college football season. You could be a powerlifter. You could be a strongman. You can be a bodybuilder. You could be a competitive bodybuilder or a lifestyle bodybuilder, someone who's trying to make their body look better, but they don't care about getting on a stage. Whatever one of these things you're doing, there's training with intent, and then there's just working out. And we're talking about people who will train.
That's a very good way to put it. Training with intent.
Right. With the idea of having a goal in mind and making sure that that hour you step in that gym, you're...
Wait, they don't need 3 hours?
No, by the way, that's stupid if you go to the gym for 3 hours.
You're an idiot.
Unless you're in prep and you have 2 hours of cardio, which also you might be an idiot because you might not be on the right path if you need 2 hours of cardio.
Yeah, that's an extreme measure. That means
Yeah.
you're behind.
Something might be wrong. And maybe this show that you've picked is not the right show for you.
Bingo.
Training with intent. Exercise selection that is meant for you and your goals. Rep execution and set execution that are meant for your goals. Rest time that is meant for your goals. There's a long laundry list of things that need to be done correctly in order to be training with intent.
Yes, we're not saying that you have to keep a logbook and you have to go in there every single session and beat your previous week's lifts. We're not even getting to that extent. We're not saying that you have to be someone.
That is a great example of trying to train with intent, is keeping a logbook, tracking your lifts. That is an example, but
I'm not against the
we're not
logbook,
going to the
but I'm
extreme and saying it's needed.
I'm not saying that that's what you need to do to make sure that you're training properly. You and I do not keep logbooks, right? Granted, we do the same workouts, the same movements
Steel trap.
for weeks on end. And yes, we try and get better with it, right? We try and, whether it's just making the exercise feel more like butter, as you would say, right? Getting another rep that week, increasing weight a little bit, okay? Like today, I think that with the chest supported T-bar rows, I think we both got a couple extra reps in there than last week, you know? We're not keeping a logbook, but we're making sure that we're progressing in some way, one week or another. But because we're always choosing the same exercises, it's easy for us to know, okay, what workouts did we do last week for back? What weights did we use? How many sets did we do? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know? So again, I wasn't saying the logbook thing because I'm against those who do. I think that's a great tool. But we both agree there's not one right way to do this, but there is a wrong way to do it.
And the wrong way would be taking 5-minute rest periods before or in between sets.
If you are not a strongman or a power lifter and you're taking a 5-minute rest period, you're wasting your fucking time.
Yes.
Okay. Why are you
I
pointing at me, dude?
want to also make a point here, because we know some professional bodybuilders. We don't know them personally. We know of some professional bodybuilders that have a very that have a very prominent style of training that requires them to give everything to a handful of sets during their workouts, and they would say, "I need that 5 minutes to give 100% to my set." Unless you are a 260 plus pound bodybuilder who is a professional at this, you don't need that 5 minutes.
And I'd still argue that even they probably don't need that full 5 minutes, right?
No, but I'm not going to argue their method because they're a professional and they got there
it's
with their
worked for them,
style.
right?
It works for them. I'm just saying.
That's where my second part was going to come in, though.
Right.
The people that we see and the people that we are talking to, okay, are not at that point yet.
No,
They're not 260 pounds at fucking 10% body fat or under.
correct. They also don't need to. You don't need to. It's a very popular saying now. At least I feel like it's a popular saying now. You don't train like the guy who's already a pro. You trained how he trained to become a pro.
I don't know if that's a saying, but I get where you're going with it.
You know
It
what I'm
makes sense.
saying? It's just like you don't eat what the current pro is eating right at this moment. You eat what they ate to become that pro type of a deal, right?
I actually disagree with that. You
But-
eat what your body needs.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? You take steps. Just because somebody is currently 300 pounds and eating 3,000 calories doesn't mean you're going to get to 300 pounds by eating 3,000 calories.
Yes.
The training is a similar way. Just because your favorite bodybuilder only needs to do 5 or 6 sets for their leg workout doesn't mean you need to do 5 or 6 sets for your
You
leg
probably need
workout.
20.
You might need double that. You really might. When
And I think where he's getting with that, and since we're talking about training, we can go into that a little bit, right? Let's take, name a pro. Someone that you really like.
Justin
Okay, Justin. Okay. For those of you who don't know, he's talking about Justin who?
Shire.
I know. We could have gone down a list. But anyways, so Justin Shire, right? He can probably go and do 5 or 6 sets and get more benefit out of those 5 or 6 sets than most people who are not at that level yet. Okay. He knows what weight he needs for that movement. He knows how to get the most out of that movement. Okay. So for someone who does not yet know, not even just the exercise, not even the proper form and technique, but their body enough. Okay. You probably are going to take your first 3-4 sets to really even just start feeling the exercise, if you're feeling it in the right spots.
Right. I like to use the example of you've heard of TUT before.
Yes.
Time under
Time under
tension.
tension.
I like to use the example of not time under
Jinx.
tension. Did we say it at the same time?
Yeah.
You owe me a Coke.
Fuck.
A pop Coke.
Yeah, not a soda.
Not a soda Coke, a pop Coke. Because we're in the Midwest and that's what we say here. I like to use the example of time under tension, not as in a set time under tension. I mean like years of work time under tension. Because I could even give this example. I might think that I personally need 8 sets for my leg training currently. 8 for quads, 8 for hamstrings. I think that works for me after training for 10 years. After taking 10
You
years.
know what exercises you feel the best.
Right. After
You
taking
know
10
how
years
to
to
contract the muscle properly.
get the most out of the muscle within that set. And I still think that I need 8, whereas a Justin might think he needs 4. He might think he needs 5. I'm not making the comparison to me and Justin. I just mean as an example, there are people who will go, or it's easy to go watch your pro train and think, I'm going to go and emulate that when you're 2 years into training and they're 15.
Yeah.
It's not the same. The time under tension from the actual set itself, you're not doing a long enough set and keeping time under tension in your set. But I mean, you don't have enough time under tension under the weight.
Agreed.
Years of training, understanding your body, understanding the weight, understanding the movement to train that way.
I agree.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, for those who may not be following purposes, they might be like, Pat only does 8 sets. He's talking about actual working sets or his top sets, okay? He's still going to walk in and he's basically talking, 2 top sets for 4 movements is what you're pointing at with your 8 sets. He still might do 2 or 3 warm-up sets, right? So he might be physically doing 5 quote unquote sets on a certain movement, but he's only counting 2 of them as his actual working set where he's actually feeling the muscle fire to its fullest and getting the most benefit out of that exercise. The rest of it is preparation up to those 2 sets.
Right. And
And not many know how to do that.
I was going to say, to expect that you can also train that same way after only training for 2 years is very naive. It takes years of, we can pick and poke holes at saying you can't do 4 sets of 10, right? Like you can't, well, especially with the same weight. If the first set of 10 was your 100% set, then the other sets you can't do that. You shouldn't be able to do 10 for that same weight. However, I do agree that you need to put in the time of doing reps and sets like that to learn the exercises, to learn your muscles, to learn your body, to feel the contractions, to feel what it's like to be sore, to feel what it's like that takes time.
Yep.
And it takes time in doing the work. By not doing the work, you will never get there.
You'll never know.
You won't. I've never claimed to train perfectly. I have many regrets in how I used to train. But I will always say that I trained with
intent
and maximal effort. We're not going to use the word intensity because intensity
totally different conversation. Gets very misconstrued.
Yes, we're not talking intensity. We're talking about effort. I walked into a gym with an intent, with a purpose. If I was training legs that day, I wanted to, if this was back in an earlier part of my career where I was training a full leg day and I wasn't doing a quad and a hamstring day, it was, I'm going to train my legs, quote unquote, until failure. And this was a younger Pat who maybe believed that it had to be failure to do it, in order for it to work. Not everybody needs to work till failure. Not everybody needs to.
Not everybody knows what true failure is.
Right. So not saying that that's the way you have to train, but I went through years of training that way to learn what I need to do to train today. And what we see every day that becomes a pretty big issue is those that want to train as if they're a pro already, those that want to train as if they know their body better than they think that they do, or better than they think that we know their body as well. I know that I write workouts, and I know that you write workouts that are pretty clearly stated that you are on a 60-second rest period unless you're doing a top set where you have 120 seconds or 2 minutes.
I literally caught someone this yesterday.
Yeah.
So I wrote a new program for somebody, told them we're switching things up based on, because I was only doing nutrition.
Yeah.
They were doing their own programming, right? Which I'm not always a fan of, but certain situations allow it to go. And then finally I was like, hey, listen, this is not working. I see what you're doing. Don't love it. We're going to change it up. Rewrote them a program. Took them through a workout. Okay. Took them through the workout. They're like, holy shit. They're like, I think we were 2 exercises in. My chest is going to explode. Like I usually would have done already 4 or 5 exercises, all with supersets, blah, 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 on the time that we did these 2 movements. And I was like, exactly. You don't need to do that, right? So, whole different story.
Music to our ears.
Rewrote this whole workout for him, right? Sent it to him, said, all right, go through this. Let me know how it feels. So yesterday he had back day on his own. Coincidentally, okay, I had to check on the cameras for somebody, right? Somebody forgot their key. I wanted to see who was there. So
you were
someone could
spying
let
on
somebody
me.
in. Yes, you weren't there already. It was later at night. So I saw him just sitting there on the machine, head down like this, just breathing. Big deep breaths, right? So I'm watching, look at the time, watching. It's like 3 minutes and I'm just staring at my phone. So I text him. I said, yo, how are those new workouts going? Oh, fuck, loving it, man, loving it. I said, well, great. I said, start moving because it's supposed to be 60-second rest. And I see your ass sitting there. All I got was ha, 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 ha. It's kicking my ass. It's different. But
Yeah.
here's the difference. Before he thought he was training hard
Right.
because he was moving so much.
Right.
But he wasn't training that hard.
Right.
If you're able to finish this exercise and immediately superset it to another exercise, I'm not saying supersets aren't good. I utilize them.
Wasn't going to say that.
Yeah, I utilize them when needed.
Yep.
Okay.
As do I.
But if you're able to go this guy worked out 2 hours plus every time, which is why I wanted to take over programming. If you're able to do 2 hours worth of back-to-back supersets for every single exercise,
Yeah.
guess what?
You're not training the right way.
You're not training the right way. You're not getting the most out of the movements that you're actually selecting.
Okay. And it's,
You shouldn't be able to do that for the first 3 exercises and still be able to go and get full benefit out of your 4th and 5th movement.
agreed.
Shouldn't happen.
And I was going to say, you said training hard enough. And I hard enough is relative for every single person.
Correct.
So don't pretend like we expect we don't expect you to train the same way we train. We don't expect you to train the same way our other clients train. We expect you to train the best way for you, which means if we're writing a workout for you or somebody else wrote a workout for you or you're following some program you found on a forum or bodybuilding.com or whatever it is, and the rest times are supposed to be a minute, it's finishing your set with a adequate amount of weight that you were supposed to be using, resting for 60 seconds, and then doing your next set.
Yep.
And accomplishing what is written or prepared for you.
And we're using 60 seconds as an example. I'm not saying that
All rest
every
time has- yes.
person needs 60 seconds or every movement is 60 seconds or whatever.
Right.
There's times with depending on what kind of training we're doing, what movement we're doing,
Right.
etc.
It might change.
It might change. We might have a 90-second rest period, you know? But at the end of the day, we're talking about consistencies here and getting the most out of your workout.
Right.
So you should be timing your rest periods to some extent. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They should not be 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. They shouldn't be.
Yep. That was a nice little rant we did about rest times. You should be performing exercises properly.
Yep.
And if you don't know if you're doing it properly, you might not be doing it properly. If you're already questioning it, you're probably not doing it properly.
If you're afraid to send it or you're afraid to post it, you know you're not doing it right. So back off the weight. Stop trying to impress everybody around you.
Yeah. Don't ego lift.
And not just I'm not just trying to say that a lot of people are trying to show off to others, which a lot are, but you're trying to show off to yourself too. A lot of people see what someone else does, whether it's a pro, whether it's someone else in their gym or whatever the situation may be.
Right.
And they mentally beat themselves up if they can't do something similar, right?
I was just talking about this with somebody the other day, actually.
Feel the fucking weight out, dude.
I just posted a picture not too long ago. I was shoulder pressing 50-pound dumbbells.
I just watched a video of you doing that today.
Me shoulder pressing 50-pound
Yeah, it's me, you,
dumbbells?
and Anthony working out back in the day. I'll show you.
Dang. Same weight?
5 years ago.
50 pounds?
I'll show you.
Cool. So I haven't gone anywhere in the past 5 years. I'm still lifting the same weight. No, but what I was
Your
doing,
execution now.
not even the execution was way better now. And I was also supersetting dumbbell shoulder press with dumbbell lateral raises, which is
different.
a big,
And you're
very
also
taxing
doing that at
the end of the workout.
the end of the workout.
Right.
It's your last movement right now.
They were very taxing exercises at the very end of a workout. So could I have let my ego get in the way and say, well, I know I can shoulder press more than 50-pound dumbbells. I need to pick up heavier dumbbells. The purpose was not to hit a top set of shoulder press. The purpose was to drive whatever blood left possible into my shoulders by doing 15 presses followed by 15 lateral raises. And hopefully making myself fail before I finish the 15 lateral raises. And that's my intent, but that's an example of what we're looking for. It shouldn't be chasing a number. It shouldn't be, even if you're lifting with a partner, it shouldn't be chasing your partner's number. It shouldn't be chasing your own number. It shouldn't be chasing it for clout on the internet. It should be with what's going to work best for you with whatever your goal is.
I agree. Perfect example. We lifted with a buddy that we used to train with forever. And it just so happened that it's funny how things work. When we used to train all the time, okay, I was always the strongest. Our buddy Anthony was always the second strongest. And then Pat was always the third strongest. We lifted hamstrings on Saturday.
How the turntables have turned.
Pat whooped our ass, right? We did a hamstring lift, and I could have done the weight that Pat was doing. Could I have moved it? Sure. Would I have gotten what I wanted to out of those movements, though, if I just grabbed the same weight that he had? No. So it literally fell into place where Pat was the strongest. I was the middle by default, just because me and our buddy both had time off, and I've just been back at it a little bit longer again, right? And he was the one behind. But it was like Pat went from being third to first. But guess what? Me and our buddy, we didn't try and keep up with Pat. We followed the same movements, but we worked with weights that we knew that we control, and not only control, but we were going to get the most out of. We knew that we were going to be able to feel that weight and get just as much out of the set with the lighter weight that we were using than Pat was getting out of the weight that he was using. Yeah. It's not just about a number. It's not about weight. It's not about a number of reps. A lot of this is feel. And that's why we could only explain so much. We could only show a client so much. You have to just worry about yourself and stop trying to keep up with other people and learn your body. Feel the movements.
Be willing to start over. Learn an exercise from the bottom up, from the ground up.
Dude, there's been a lot of injuries lately. A lot in the gym. Nothing, knock on wood, right? Serious. But a lot of these people now, you're not really superstitious, don't knock.
I'm a little stitious.
Whatever. Nothing serious yet, but which is why I've had a lot of conversations with people recently about ego lifting and, whatever.
Maybe that's why someone asked this question.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe they were the ones who did this.
It's possible. A lot of people are off season right now. So what's going on? They're stronger, right? They have
Strength's
more calories.
going up.
They have more calories. They have more water. They're probably pushing different types of drugs, right? So they're getting stronger quicker, okay? But guess what? If you're not training properly, you're going to get hurt doing so.
Yeah.
So stop. Oh, your buddy over there is doing fucking 8 plates on the fucking hack squat. Great. Guess what? Never seen you be able to control 3. So why are you doing 4 or 5 now?
I could go on a whole thing about the hack
Do
squat.
it.
But it's on topic, but it's not on topic. The hack squat has become the new measurement of strength for legs,
size.
apparently. Yeah. Not even gonna get in the rubber band thing with you idiots.
I was hoping you were.
No. I mean, I can. Stop using the reverse rubber band, you idiots. Back to the same point I made earlier. Just because your favorite pro is using it, your favorite pro actually has knee pain because he's been squatting for 20 years. You just started squatting 2 years ago. You don't have knee pain.
You're
being soft.
Excuse me. You're being soft, or you're doing it wrong. The movement wrong.
And you need to stretch.
Yes.
And that would fix your knee pain. Stop using the rubber band. You're using it wrong. If you want to make the exercise harder, you want to look cooler, you want to look more hardcore, put the bands.
Use the band for resistance, not for assistance.
Correct. That's my take on the rubber band.
If you have a problem with that,
come and find me. I'll tell you all about it. The other thing that's happening with the hack squat, as an example, is because it has become this dick swinging contest on how much weight can somebody put on there and how much weight can somebody move. Somebody will tell me about how I was able to hit this number for this many reps yesterday. And my first question is like, oh, cool. Like, what were you training? Hamstrings, quads, 1 full leg day? And they'll be like, oh, I was doing quads. I was like, oh, cool. And they'll show me the video and their feet will be at the top of the platform. And I'll be like, well, great job hitting your hamstrings on your quad.
Great job.
Just
not hitting your quads.
Right. Not training the muscle group you're trying to train. And listen, I know that it's still a squat. You're going to hit a little bit of quad. But if you're trying to work on a quad day and get the most out of your quads, you should probably make sure you know how to set up the form of the squat to hit your quads.
Yep.
I'm Bobby Bouchang again.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
was looking at your fingers. Yeah, I was like, what's he doing?
I don't know. I'll put my hands down.
People do that all the time, though.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
All the time.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
And it's that happens with the hack squat. It happens with other
The leg press.
Leg press.
The
It
squat
happens
press.
with the new Rogers Squat
So
Pro.
we have a new squat pro in the gym, and I don't get why people are overcomplicating it.
Yeah.
It's there to mimic a squat
Yeah. Safely.
safely.
Yeah.
Yes. I love it. I personally love it. I wish you and I utilized it more because I really do love a true squat. Only with my torn pec, this holding the bar gets very uncomfortable, right? Having previously slip discs in the back.
That's mobility issue. You should stretch, brother.
100%. But I know my faults and I know I don't take the time to do so, right?
I know.
But low back pain, things like that, like things that I prefer not to do a barbell squat with anymore at my point, right? Like not telling others not to do it.
Yeah.
So I actually love that movement, right? Anyways, besides that, or that machine, the amount of people who don't know how to use it blows my mind. You're not doing RDLs with it.
Right.
The amount of people just pushing their ass back, you're mimicking a true squat. You're just doing it with a machine that's going to help take the load off your spine.
Sorry, you're supposed to be mimicking a real squat.
Yes.
What you're doing is hip hinging
Yes.
and loading your glutes and hamstrings. You're not actually squatting.
Yeah. And that's why these people are
Hurting themselves.
Yes. But again, also loading weight they shouldn't be using unless you have take the rider squat out of it, right?
Yeah.
Unless you have perfected a movement, you should not be going up in weight.
Yeah.
I don't care if someone wrote you a workout and it says, let's say you have a warm up of 1 by 12 to 15, right? Then you have, another second warm up, we'll call it 10 to 12. And then you have working sets of 6 to 10, 8 to 10, whatever it is, right? Just because you can get to 10 or whatever your top set is, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you should go up in weight.
Right.
We talk about progression, but progression also comes down to execution. You can get to 10, but did you get to 10? Did it feel good? Were you actually getting a contraction? Were you getting a good stretch?
Right.
Okay. And are you able to do it with proper recovery time? Or in order to get to that set count or that rep count again, do you need to take a 3 or 4 minute rest period? There's so much that comes into proper execution that people just literally, they see numbers written down. They're like, oh, well, I can do that, so I'm going to go up. Yeah, you did it, but your fucking arms were shaking in the chest press. Why are you going up?
Right.
Because they're
Or you
chasing
didn't even,
the wrong things.
which we can't feel for you. You didn't feel it in your chest at all.
It was all anterior delts.
And triceps. Yeah, it's and again, because we don't think there's a certain way of training, I wish that we could sit here and give the listeners and viewers an answer that was very black and white and cut and dry, because that's how I like to be. But there isn't, because there are so many different ways of training, because there are so many different types of people out there. But there are still principles that you should be able to follow, even though everyone's different. You're all unique snowflakes, and you all need to do things slightly differently for yourselves.
I think snowflakes is offensive now.
Is it for white people?
I don't know, but I hear people call people snowflakes as an insult.
Oh,
I know what you meant by it because no one snowflake is the same.
what else
supposedly.
is unique?
Raindrops, maybe.
I don't know if that's
Drop
the same
tops.
thing. Crackpot. I'm gonna put my leg left because my knee is buckling
Yeah,
under
dude.
me.
Now I'm gonna put my nuts left.
Okay. Something that's unique. We're all unique. So everything's going to be very person dependent. However, like we just talked about, there are certain variables that everybody can control. You can control your rest time. You can control your form. You can control your intent with your training, meaning you can control the muscle group you are targeting based on how you're setting up. These are all things that somebody probably way smarter than us has written a book on that everybody seems to be neglecting.
Mine drops next week.
Yeah, in ebook.
Yeah.
Buy my mastermind course for 10
For
payments.
$2.99.
10 payments of $2.99. But all of these things are universally transferable within training, and they just get forgotten for show up and look good.
We're not getting into you need to do 15 to 20 reps of every exercise, or you need to do 6 to 8 for every exercise, blah, blah, blah. There are different right ways to do things. And again, it's all person dependent. It's all situational. What we do agree though is, like he said, there are certain variables that you can control to make sure that you are doing things in the most safe and productive manner. And the amount that I see it just being completely just ignored, maybe it's not even for ego reasons. Maybe they just truly think that that's how they're supposed to train. They're ignorant to it, right? But like, if you really love this,
if you want to be a good bodybuilder, if you're about this life,
you need to take the time to perfect everything. You know that you have to perfect your food. You know that you have to nail your cardio. Why should you not have to perfect your training? Just going in and pushing weight is not perfecting it. It's not going to yield you the results that you want.
it's not.
It's not. I mean, I already used myself as an example, so I'm not going to do it again.
Newbie and you're getting newbie gains, but after that, you ain't getting anywhere.
Yeah. You're not.
You're going nowhere.
You could be a genetic freak. People could use that example. Oh, you know, Ronnie Coleman.
We're not talking about
he did this, blah, 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 blah.
0.01%.
Exactly. We're not. And even those genetic freaks who maybe partially diet or partially cheat on their reps or whatever, guess what? I'm going to make the argument that, yeah, they were still fucking great and the best, but
could have been better.
They'd probably be even better if everything was perfected.
I do agree with that. I mean, I've agreed with most of everything you've said, but I also agree with that.
Did you disagree with anything I said?
I don't think so.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we're typically on the same page, especially when it comes to training.
Yeah. No, but I especially agree with that is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Especially.
I mean, I feel like we've done the amount of time that we've now worked out with each other. We've pretty much gone through it all.
We've seen it all, as my good friend Jeezy would say.
If you didn't know that, I would have been real upset.
That's what I was going to say, but you said it first.
You could have said Jay-Z and you would have been right too.
Jay-Z?
They're both on the song.
Because then you're kind of saying both at the same time.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Jay-Z? Yeah. I know that was a very...
It was vague, but it wasn't vague.
Yeah. I think
it's hard to put specifics on it because too many people are going to misinterpret, you know?
Right. I don't want to give hard and fast rules because then somebody's not going to understand, or they're going to take...
But here's the difference though, or not the difference. Here's the thing. Like, you can't really give hard and fast rules because it's very person dependent.
Right.
The way I'm going to set up a squat for you may be different than Michael sitting next to you.
No,
right?
I agree.
Like,
yeah, my brother doesn't know how to squat. An idiot.
And again, that's where it comes down to learning yourself, learning your body, though, right? Because even you can go into a textbook, right? You could be, okay, that guy has textbook form on his chest press or his hack squats or whatever the movement may be, right?
Right.
But that doesn't mean that he's getting the most out of the movement.
Correct.
You know, if you tell me, hey, Greg, put your feet here, but I'm not feeling it, or hey, Greg, put your elbows in here, but I'm not feeling it, I'm probably going to get more benefit making a little bit bend in the rules and doing it where I'm actually feeling it in that muscle.
Right. No,
everyone's set up a little bit different. There's guidelines to follow, but that's why you can't chase the weight. You have to start lighter and start working with form and techniques, whether it's controlling your tempo or whatever it is, okay, to making sure that you're feeling it in the right areas. Once you know, okay, I'm working my tricep, I'm feeling my tricep, I'm working my chest, I'm feeling my chest, I'm working my lower lat insertion, I'm feeling it there, right? Then, okay, perfect. Now I'm going to add a little bit of weight. Right. Am I still feeling it there? No. All right, I'm going to back off a little bit and I'm just going to do a couple more sets.
Right. We forgot.
Et cetera.
We didn't even touch on tempo, but that's for another day.
Dude, I think we should have an entire episode
on tempo.
Not just on tempo, but where we do go a little bit more into maybe how we create programs for a specific client. And on that, we could touch on tempo and things like that as well, but more so like just program design. And again, it's person dependent, but more so what we see, how we start progressing things for somebody.
Right.
You know,
we could. It might be very general again, but we could. Or we create a fake person.
here's Johnny.
Yeah.
He's got 1.5 legs. He's got,
To make it easier, we should probably give him both legs.
I guess.
Then we're creating a crazy
Or give him
program.
none and it'll be way easy. We can only do upper body
Upper
movements.
body day. Nice. Yeah, that was pretty well rounded, or not well rounded, a very rounded answer of what we're looking for. The takeaway of that question, I would hope for the listeners and viewers at home, would be if you think any of those were you, talk to your coach. If you think any of those examples we gave were something you don't do correctly, talk to your coach.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Figure it out.
Figure it out for your own benefit and safety.
Yep. I promise you'll be a better bodybuilder. It might be a hard conversation to have to admit you're not doing something right, but I promise you'll be a better bodybuilder by the end of it.
And listen, there are still things that you and me adjust on a day-to-day basis. Not a day-to-day basis, but we might start doing an exercise that maybe we haven't done for a while, and we might change up the way that we once did it just because we're starting to feel it differently.
Yeah.
There's no... That's the great thing about, I mean, not just bodybuilding, but fitness in general, right? That like nothing is set as stone, right? Like your body is constantly changing. You're getting stronger in certain areas. You know, everything can keep being adjusted, whether it's your training, your food, et cetera, to get better and better and better.
True dat.
Now why you do that?
I don't know what that is. I was going to say true because that's my favorite guy, you know?
It was Will Smith. Just the two of us. It's an old one, dude. You were probably like 0.
No.
How long were we on here, man? Do the people want us to go, or should I
We've
give
been
you...
at 101. Is there a fun question to end with?
Should I end with like a would you rather?
Is there a would you rather?
I'm pretty sure, dude. We had a lot of random shit come in. Let me fire one off for you guys, dude. We just got a new question. Let's see if it's good.
I bet it's not. It's about me again, isn't it?
Do you want to know what it is, or should we save it for another episode?
Is it good or is it about me?
I don't know.
Save it.
Okay. All right.
Let's just do a little funner one for the folks at home before we go.
All right. I'm going to ask this one, all right?
Okay. You're smiling already.
All right.
Guys, I want you to know that if you're listening, I can't see Greg's phone. We're recording on my cell phone. I also don't have the anonymous question app on my phone, so I don't have them. So when he says I'm going to ask this question,
He really has no idea.
I don't know what he's about to ask. I'm just looking at him maniacally smiling at his cell phone, and I can only hope it's not something horrifying that's going to haunt.
Would you rather?
That foot is going to haunt my dreams.
You're sick.
You're so sick.
Why would you do that? All right. Would you rather watch your parents every day have sex for the rest of your life, or hop in just once, man, and never have to watch them again? You go first. I asked the question.
Great. It's a fun game.
Whoever asked this is a sick fuck.
Yeah. Like, what do you have going on
And
in
I
your
like
day? That this is what you got to think of. It doesn't change the questions. I was like trying to think of a way out. I was like, is it like watching it live, or is it like a video that every morning I have to like wake up and 50 First Dates? Like, gotta wake up, watch this
But
video.
at least you forget then.
Is this for like 50 First Dates? And I forget? Oh. I was trying to think of like, if it's a videotape, am I just watching the same videotape? Or like every day it's like, hey, dude, it's 3:00. And like,
Nope.
none of that.
Sorry, sir. Dude, you're either hopping in once or you're seeing it every day for the rest of your life.
I don't want to do it.
I don't think your parents even listen to the episodes. Just answer how you want.
I don't want. That's the thing. Answer how I want. I don't want either.
But you have to prefer one way or the other. We can't make this an hour and 30 episode. No one's going to even listen to this part.
Yeah, I know. They're probably already tuned out. I guess just because it's a numbers game, get get it over with.
Ew.
You're a sick fuck, dude.
Dude, what am I supposed to do? What are you going to do? Sit and watch every day?
Yeah.
You're going to sit and watch every day.
Yep. Listen, dude, well, first and foremost, my parents are divorced. So maybe if they had sex, I'd be a little happy. I'd be like, hey, they're back.
This is a childhood trauma thing you're getting into.
I'm just kidding.
There's some deeper layers here,
I'm
huh?
just kidding in that sense.
They're back.
They're back.
Greg's got tears of joy.
But all right, putting yourself in that shoes, I'm very close with both my parents. Love my parents to death.
Yeah, so do I.
Here's the deal. I know that they've had sex.
Yeah. So
They made me and my 3 siblings,
Correct.
right? And they're still young. So guess what? Good for them. Let them have sex. I seen it, gross, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
every day
Dude, every day, at the end of the day,
you're watching your
Put it
parents have
this way.
sex. At the end of the day, that is
At
what
the
you're doing.
end of the
you're
day,
watching
though,
your
here's
parents
the
have
deal.
sex every day.
I would still be like, oh, that was fucking gross. I'm mortified, right? But I would still be able to have a relationship with them. If I hooked up with them once, that one time I just deleted them from my life because I would not be able to look at them again.
Bye, guys.
Watching them have sex or me be involved,
It doesn't say what you have to do.
it says hop in. That means you're doing something,
It
dude.
doesn't. I'm gonna try and think of the.
Either you're having fun with mommy or daddy's having fun with you. But something's going on that you don't like. And if you do like it, I don't want to know. So don't open your mouth right now.
I don't want it,
But you already said that you're doing it. So
dude. I just feel like
Well-
it's such a long life left.
Pat's for incest and Greg's not. So tune in next time.
Every day for the rest of your life. It's a sick question.
Dude, I might die tomorrow. Oh, but I'll die knowing that I did not have sexual
True,
relations with my parents.
My parents are old. They could die.
And if you ever win the lottery,
What?
I don't want to say on camera, but
Oh, I see. I mean, that's actually a good
Greg
point.
and Pat
That's,
just got kicked off YouTube.
that's a good point to bring up, actually, a time frame type
You
of
already
thing.
made your decision, dude.
I didn't think of the timing.
Well, too late. Once it's in, it's in.
That's not how it works.
How does it work,
That's
Pat?
the fun. That's the
How
fun.
does it work,
No, the
Pat?
game. That's the fun part of the game is that you can persuade other people for different answers.
Well, final answer then.
'Cause
Go.
what if my parents don't live much longer?
The chances of them both going,
Well, only one of them has to go.
you still watched it every day.
You wouldn't have to watch it every day if they're not around. That's the point I'm making.
Oh.
I was trying not to just come out and say that, but I was just saying.
Yeah, well, I want my parents to live, Pat. So
So do I.
if they're having sex, that means that they're happy. So I'm going to watch it. And I'm going to let them know that they're alive, or I'm going to be happy that they're alive. And that's it.
Yeah, I guess that's a pretty good answer.
Anyways,
I
guys,
never thought about this scenario as my parents being happy.
I hope you never thought about this scenario.
No, I mean, like right now, when you gave me those two options, never once did I think of my parents' happiness. I'm such a selfish person.
I
The
was
fact
just
that
gonna
you
say,
spun,
dude, we know you're a selfish
The fact that
person.
you somehow spun this into being like, I just want my parents to be happy.
Hey, it's healthy. Good for them.
If that's the case, you're right. I want to just let my parents go do it every day. Be
Hey.
the happiest people on earth. I gotta see it. That's fine. Go be happy. What a simple answer that is. Then I was purely thinking about my sanity and my happiness.
Listen,
no
dude.
one else's.
Sometimes selfishness will kill you, dude.
Sometimes selflessness will save you from a life of horror. In this case,
Or horrors. It
Sure.
could. It could. Anyways, guys, like, share, and subscribe, please.
yep.
Keep the questions coming. We have a plethora of questions now built up that we have not answered. We're going to keep rolling them over. We're going to continue starting the episode and possibly ending the episode with a few questions.
I think we should post those questions like every Sunday and every Wednesday. Or Sunday.
Okay, yeah,
and
just
Tu-
to
or like
build up more.
Yeah, like a Saturday
All right,
and
so-
Tuesday thing. That way, no offense if you're the one doing this. That way, when we get the same one that says "How you feeling today," we can just skip right past it and we
Yeah.
can go to the good ones.
And
It's
listen,
it's
I'm
a
not
not
trying to offend you. If you really care how Pat or I feel,
Text us.
That's great, but text us, right?
Right.
Text us or DM me. Hey, man, like, how was your day today? I might still not answer you, but
Right.
at least I know who cared about me, right?
Correct.
But at the end of the day, listen, guys, we're here to help. We're also here to entertain. So
Yeah.
if you want to hear about Pat possibly sleeping with his parents, keep the questions coming. If you want to hear about nutrition, training, supplementation, correctional exercise,
If you want to hear
whatever
about
it may be.
bodybuilding and business,
Oh yeah. Let us know some business questions too.
yeah, don't be afraid.
Yeah. I mean, Pat's no Mark Cuban or anything, but
I am not Mark
he
Cuban.
does run his own business.
That is true.
So, anyways,
That's
I'm
all,
hungry.
folks. Time to eat.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Hey, until the next time.
That's all, folks.